Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Jacob Silverblade, and today, well, we've got another tournament video. So this is not gonna be live. The reason why is I did do the live version. There was some problems with it. I've also noticed that my bit rate wasn't set to the actual correct amount, basically, and so the video quality, it's still 720, but it's not like the crisp quality of 1800 worth HD quality. What I also say with that is that I will admit, I think I just got a little bit too annoyed with these games, and I also wasn't commentating that much, so I just don't think it would have been that interesting. So let's get into four games. There was 4 games, and see how it went. The first game is Horus versus Neurothrope. And as you could probably already pre-seen, well, Jurgen is the winner overall in this, winning 3-1. We'll go through the games anyway.
What is yet to come is for us to decide.
So I opt for Varakatigris because I think out of my 3 options, he banned my Denkler. So out of my 3 options, I was like, I think Varakatigris probably is best. The rest of my games are me going second. So I think he wanted to get his 1 game with the Neurothrope out of the way. And that was quite a big deal because he did win this game, and Neurothrope is nowhere near as good going first at the end of the day because they don't get that really strong counter attack, I might go and say. So I opted for Varakatigris because I knew I could do some broken things with him. So I draw a card, and then I play so-and-so. He digests and pulls into card effects, and this is why we kept the Primus Eradicator. Knowing that, well, he's thankfully a direct counter to card effects here. Still have to use the Intercessor to remove the threat, but it does mean that I have dealt with his sort of really powerful combo play, which is what I wanted to do. I then opt for just drawing another card, hoping I get Avenging Zeal or something like that. Get a Humanity's Shield, not bad.
We will purge the galaxy.
I then end up shooting here and just doing as much aggro damage as I can. I know I can't really deal with like a the only thing which I can properly deal with, what is it, a Norm Emissary, is with a hardened removal. So after this play here, it wasn't really the best play. I could have gone and played this and Reaver instead. I was really debating if I just played that, Reaver, and then Tactical Insight. And then with the Tactical Insight, hoping I can get like so-and-so, but I knew I didn't have any sort of play anyway, so I guess maybe it would have been just best to play Gather the Company here. He then get Broodlord. So instead of playing Sergeant Talion, because I don't think it's really the best here, because what it's going to be next is either the hard removal or it's so-and-so. So I opt for drawing a card, end up getting Avenging Zeal. Could have done this and done some stuff, potentially maybe. But I opt for just this play instead, dealing with it. And very unfortunately, he does have the perfect card for this exact scenario, which is perfect combination of cards, I should say. Which is Adrenal Surge followed into Ravenous Hunger. And so hence, this is all we needed to do. And he's got pretty much exactly full. So some things I could have done. I could have given shield to my guy instead, the Honor Guard, in which case he would have not been able to do that exact play, because he didn't have the smite also. So yeah, well played to him. There were other things I could have done. Could have played Humanity Shield and Talion instead. That was another option. So yeah. Hey-ho. Next game is against Azrael. Now this is where I think, in all fairness, I probably got a little bit lucky with just what I drew into. Got the Dracnian and Heldrick Strike straight away, and I'm thinking this is a perfect starting hand, to be honest. I was somewhat expecting him to play not Commissar Denkler. I was expecting him to play Ursula Creed, but he goes with Azrael instead. Plays the Taman, plays the so-and-so. I then played Noise Marine. Opt for dealing with it, and of course I've got the Hellfire Pit. Dealing with that guy. He then plays the bikes, dealing with that. I end up choosing the Chosen, of course. End up doing that. Punch face. Still trying to beat the beat down here. He then gets the Land Speeder. It doesn't quite deal with my guy, but I think it's fine. I go for this, and I opt for play of going for the extra so-and-so, and then doing face damage here. There's potential other plays good here.
Engage and eliminate.
I then do this. I do use Dracnian now. And the reason why I went Dracnian here is because I'm like, Heldrick Strike, ideally I use against 3 targets. I wouldn't really want to punch here. And I can't, you know, you go through the list of things and you're like, ideally I do this and that. Ideally I don't do this here, so I probably just play Dracnian and actually just aggro face. I could have gone both to face and not dealt with this guy at all, but you'll just see here that I think that was a smart decision. He then gets this guy and gets for the really nice so-and-so play, and I am risking it with these Heldrick Strikes, but I think I kind of had to. But then Heldrick Strike, of course. Taking out this. I do opt to get rid of this guy. And then I smite. Very much playing on the edge. He then does this play. And what he doesn't know is that I've got the second Heldrick Strike. I also have is a Traitor's Hate. So I'm fairly confident that I can remove this. I end up doing so. And here I opt to hold back. Because I'm like, if he's got the 9 energy drop and gets the so-and-so, I would die. If he's got the 7 energy drop and he gets the fast on it, I would also die. If he gets the 5 energy drop, fine enough, I would also die then. So there's a lot of things which will just kill me here. As it is, I don't know what else would kill me without those things. That's the only thing I don't know. I guess if I punched and then he had an unwavering zeal, I would have lost. So yes, there was other outs as well. But I opted to just hold back, knowing that I had Murderous Desires in my hand. And then I do it, and I'm able to gain that 1 victory that I had. Next game was against Vartarius against Azrael. Thinking that he would choose it again. I do get... Let's go for it. So, this is a bit of a debatable play which one I choose.
It's for us to decide.
I end up going for light cover. No, going for a really powerful first pawn play. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, particularly with what I end up drawing. High Factory would have been better here, because I could have played that, and then I could have High Factoried into the Primus Impulsor, and then High Factoried next turn into the next one. He ends up getting so-and-so. I was really hoping for like a 4 energy drop. Ended up getting this, dealing with the Librarian pretty easily, to be honest, because of the whole combination. And end up punching him. He does a Raving Zeal, knowing that he has to get rid of my firstborn, because it would just prove too much to be a problem. I then do this, and I probably should have not punched for Intercessor Sergeant here. I think that was a mistake, because he has to go along and deal with it. He already used the Unwavering Zeal, so he probably doesn't want to use that. I end up just removing what is quite a useful resource into dealing with what he plays next. So this is when I opt for just punching it and then playing Primus Impulsor, getting that Avenging Zeal down. He then plays Ezekiel, Now this is where probably my mistake came in. I just pause it here. Is it pause? I end up opting to play this play where I play Impulsor, and then I would have done a play Octavius Infiltrator, blinding him. Not to send everything face. What I am going to do is going to send this guy into Ezekiel to remove that shield, and then sending these two guys into face. So we're leveling the health, and then I have a big board. You know, I have two of these guys because he's going to generate one, he's going to generate one, and I have Octavius Infiltrator, of course, my Warlord self, and then two Primus Impulsors. And he's going to be blinded. What I should have thought about was his potential outs. And this is what my mistake came in, is that his potential out, well, there's only really one thing which gives him an out here, and that's a Deadly Hunters. And we are playing against Azrael, so he's much more likely to able to have that out if he knows that that's what he's going to need to deal with an Impulsor, for example. So I end up opting for this play. I blind him. Team with a shield shooting there. And then he has exactly what he needs, the Deadly Hunters. Team with the entire board, generating a secret as well. That's the fact is two of them, but oh well. And now we're in this position. So this is a really debatable position what you do here. I opt for the Avenging Zeal play. Basically what I go for is I go Varo Tigerius, ends up shooting here. I smite this one here. I do get the 2 damage. Thankfully, they're able to kill that guy. And then I'm basically taking 2/3 of a chance of hoping that I hit one of the Black Knights here into killing them. And yeah, that's basically what I do. The other option was Sergeant Gadriel, where hopefully I hit one of these guys with like ping there. Sergeant Gadriel, you know, get the Avenging Zeal down. I think this is the best thing I could have done in this position, but to be honest. And my slight risks do end up paying off. But I think I should have thought about it ultimately on the Impulsor turn. What is with his potential outs, which I didn't think about. And I should have just dealt with Ezekiel itself using Sergeant Gadriel. Was it Sergeant Gadriel? Just going through the replay. Using Avenging Zeal, that's it. Just playing it earlier. I think that's a slight misplay, as I say, but not the biggest in the world. Punching there. Primus Impulsor. He then gets Ezekiel, and then I should have thought about what he could have had next. And instead of him playing Impulsor, should have probably played Avenging Zeal, buffing up all these guys. I could have not fortunately smited him, so I would have had to just draw a card instead. And then I could have shot here. And then his Deadly Hunters would be nowhere near as good. There would basically be one of these guys, which would have not the stats. This guy would have died trying to deal with Ezekiel. Then I would have had this guy with the stats, shooting at Ezekiel. Ezekiel would be dead. He would be on 25 life. I would be on 18. So I'll be behind in life, but I would have a 1 health Primus Impulsor. And so and so. The reason why I didn't want to do that is because I thought I would be losing quite a bit of value there, if that makes sense. And I really wanted to get that sort of value train going. But ultimately it was completely the wrong decision. Because I did not think about Deadly Hunters one bit. And as you can probably predict here, Avenging Zeal, I go along, make the best plays I could. He then played some pretty darn good plays. I opted for drawing a card because I recognise I'm like out of good options. So I get a Humanity Shield, which of course makes me live for an extra turn. He ends up doing that. I know I need my card draw if I'm not ever going to win this. And then I kind of just have to hope that the pings, just one of them goes here. It does anyway. But it doesn't really matter. Because he has the Deathwing Knight. 3 damage across the board. Punches here. There we go. Final game. He, of course, only has one deck left, where is Ursula Creed, and I have the option of playing Vara Tigurius or Jane Zar. Now, what you'll see is I do opt for playing Jane Zar. It does have a weakness into Ursula Creed where they can get armor. However, my Vara Tigurius doesn't have the, how to say this? It doesn't have, like, Stormraven, doesn't have something like a good board clear. And that's why I opt for Jane Zar instead, trying to get, Eldritch Storms. Of course, because I think Ursula Creed is more of a go-wide archetype. Typically, drawing many guardsmen. I think Eldritch Storm's actually a lot better into that. And then I can stun the... Even though I can't deal with the Rogal Dawns, I can stun the Rogal Dawn, so doesn't do as much damage. So I opt for stunning him, so that he isn't able to play the Shock Trooper. He quite often doesn't actually play... I don't think he plays the Shock Trooper just to try a game, actually. I then deal with this, just doing this, and then I create some stones, knowing that I'll need that for the Eldritch Storm. He then has the perfect curve out play with Cadia stands. I then play so-and-so Dance of Death. Hopefully that will be able to keep me going. He then has a really nice Ogryn play. So I opt for, you know, playing Howling Banshee, stunning him. Trying to make him not play Shock Trooper. Always trying to make an excuse for him to, like, actually not use the Shock Trooper this entire time, either stunning him or leaving a threat that he probably wants to deal with. He then uses the Guardsman, of course, shoot there, and then he has the Chimera. Now, of course, unfortunately, you wouldn't have these guys without the, what is it called? Cadia stands. But he does have the Chimera here, which is like the perfect thing he could have wanted, actually. So I'm like thinking, right, how do I deal with this? I go along, deal with it like that, punch there, end up playing this guy instead of Fire and Fading and sending it back, because I want to see if I can get the stun over here on this guy. Unfortunately, at this point, you might be going, why did I do this? Pause, good. Why did I go for extra attack? Why did I do that? And the simple answer is that this is the thing which really pissed me off, is that I unfortunately had 2 seconds on the clock, and when it appears, when it gets to 2 seconds on the clock, it will auto choose your option for you. So you won't actually, even though you got 2 seconds left to make a decision, it will auto choose it for you. And I was like really debating whether I use Fire and Fade and whatnot. And so hence the game automatically decided that me having +2 melee attack on Jane Zar that I already attacked with was the best possible decision. Yeah. So even though I actually selected this stun, I just didn't get quite to the okay. And because of that reason, it didn't actually stun, and that's what was meant to happen. So ideally I would have like either stunned Ursula Creed here. If it stunned this guy, it would have killed it, of course. And the best option would have been stunning Chimera. I don't think I would have won even if I did that. And you'll come up with that later on. He uses the Chimera to get multiple guardsmen, and he has the Ogryns as well. At this point, I completely know that my only out, really, is an Eldritch Storm. I kind of need it, and I need a pretty good one, I'd say. I think if you do the laws of averages, I will get, you know, like, this guy would die, he would live, so I would have moved that with so-and-so, move that with so-and-so. It would be on free life, and you would be on, well, you would be on free life regardless. But I didn't get the Eldritch Storm. Not what we needed. So I end up playing this play instead. And I do choose stun here, and funny enough, I do stun the Chimera here. He then gets, well, a Rogal Dawn, completely being able to deal with this. And has completely got the aggro on. And at this point, I keep on playing anyway, hoping I get an Eldritch Storm. Guess what? Still don't get an Eldritch Storm, but even then, I'm not quite entirely sure I would have won this. Even if let's say I got it. I end up stunning this random guy over here. Yada yada. Completely lost this. So yeah, maybe Vara Tigurius could have been better, because it could have just had that sort of like had the flankers and all that, to be able to deal with that early game aggro. Potentially, I'm not dismissing that, but he didn't really have that early game aggro. He just sort of generated a random card, which I don't think we even saw that game. Yeah. Overall, those are 3 games. Very well played to Jurgen. I ultimately made some mistakes. Yeah, he got lucky here. You can argue and whatnot, but you know, those cards exist, and I really should have thought about them being a potential option that he could have done. So GG, well played. Hope to see you guys next time.